here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish. Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very, very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Howdy folks, how we doing? Welcome on in. It's Monday here in Sydney. Another day for a little bit more guitar work online streaming. Can you guys see and hear me? Post a 1 if you can see and hear me, please. Thank you very much, Orby. Good to see you too, my friend. We've got to do a little bit more work on this acoustic today. We're going to fit the rosette. We did practice last week, got our little tool ready, and I'll show you where we're up to. So we've got our rosette grooves cut out of the top already. I've prepped that, and now we're going to fit these little guys. How are we all doing? Greg, what's going on? Dana's in the house. Terry's here. Scott, Obnoxious Scott, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Scotty, GuitarshowLogic's here as well. Everyone's joining in. Thank you for the resub, Orby. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Give that man a shout out if you haven't already, guys and girls. Let's switch cameras. Let's get stuck into this workbench. There we have it, right? We've got this groove cut out. And this little guy goes in like so. And there's a little bit of a gap around the edges. Because what we want to do is we want to fit this fine piece of abalone on a piece of leather or some kind of a stringy substance, and that's going to go around the edges. We're going to fit that just to thicken that up a little bit. I was going to do it outside the border, the boundary, but I'm going to keep it compact only because this bunya pine seems to fray a little bit at the edges, so I've cut this reasonably clean. What I'm going to do is position this guy, and then we're going to glue these additional strips around the edges like so. You can see them going to fit like that. Okay, we're going to fit those in there. Now let's have a closer look at that. This has already got mother of pearl, or I should say abalone shell with rosewood. So you can see the abalone shell. And this is going to augment that by sitting on the outside of it like that. So essentially we're going to layer it and make it just a little bit wider and thicker than this 12 mil. Take it to about 12, to about 13 or so, 14. Okay, what do we got? A hype train. My goodness. Dana with 100 bits. Thank you very much. Hoodie's in the house too. Hoodie's here. Welcome on in, Hoodie. Where are my glasses gone, guys? Let me find my glasses because I can't see Jack. There we go. I've got my eyes in. Everything's better now. Hype train. Thank you very much. That's very nice. Leslie's in the house too. Leslie, what's going on? Okay, so we're going to get a chisel out. I'm just going to smooth this little guy out. First things first, though, I need a nice plank of wood to sit that under. I need to get that sitting so that we've got a little bit of support. And I'm going to use the Dremel and maybe just cut that outside edge just a little bit neater. But first things first, we're going to work on it with a chisel. Just clean up those rough edges. So let me grab my little bag of chisels down here. Just going to clean that up and start positioning this guy. There's a couple of high spots here I want to get rid of. I'll move this keyboard out of the way. I hope you're all going good. Thank you very much for the gifted sub there. Scotty with 5 gifted subs. That's awesome. Appreciate you. And Dana with a big 500. My goodness. She doesn't want to be left out. Let's grab some chisels. Helps if I open these the right way. Get the right chisels. Grab the 10mm. It's going to work this little area here. Smooth out some of those bumps. Just lightly shaving that clean so that we get a nice even base for this ring. Just shaving those ridges ever so lightly. Smoothing them out. There's a high spot, I'm just removing that just by shaving this little guy out. Very fine. And then once we get that guy glued in, we can then cut the hole out. Pretty good there. As I said, it's a little bit on the bigger side because we've got to put a couple of layers, a couple of rings around this guy here. Something like this. It's going to test the fit now. So push that in there against the inside edge. I'm going to pop that in there like so. And I'm going to feed that. That should take up all the extra space. Close that gap up. All we've got to do is glue that in and sand it flush and we're good to go. It doesn't sit in there nicely when that steam jumps up at me, does it? Not good at all. This has got to come up. That's it. That little guy in there. Test fitting is always important. We don't want to glue things in crooked or sideways or skewed. We always test fit this guy and make sure it sits in there the way it's meant to. And I'm mainly just checking for the gaps now, making sure this thing is going in there nicely and it's flush. It's pretty close. It does pop up a little bit because it isn't glued down. It's got a bit of springiness in it. Close that up like so. Once I get this in, I can let go of that rosette, main rosette thing, and it'll spring back onto it and lock that in. Just going to make sure it's all not rippled and it's actually sitting quite flat. There we go. Got to hear it go pop and snap in that place. Like that. Twisted sister. It is twisted. There we go. Let's sort that out. There we go. Nice. And don't worry about the gap at the top because the it's going to get covered with the fretboard. Trim this off. Get that guy in there. There we go. Do we like that? Is that blingy enough for you, Terry? Are you happy with the bling factor? Does a lap steel not rely on the wood as much as tone? Does a lap steel not rely? That's one hell of a question, Tom. What I'd like to do is get stuck into this inner edge now and put another layer on the inside. So I'm going to take this out. It's looking good. I'm going to grab the Dremel and I'm just going to resize that ever so slightly. Just give that a little scrape on the inside edge. So let's get the Dremel out. Dremel! Where are you? Where are you? I'm going to give this guy a little twirl. what I'm doing is I'm taking this in and just trimming off that inside edge, just making it another millimeter or so thinner. And that way I'll get 2 layers in there and it'll be the right thickness and it'll look pretty good. There's an ad coming up in 50 seconds, guys and girls, so hang in there. Hydra, what's going on? Thank you for the follow. We had a hype train and it's completed at level 3. Very good support. Thank you very much. Terry with a 1-month gift at the Tom. Thank you for that, Terry. Sorry I didn't get to you sooner. I'm just focusing on this rubbish right here. Trying to get this guy going. So we've got this guy to... That's fine. I'm happy with the height. Just going to open this up. Let's get the Dremel in there. Make some adjustments. Put the cutter in there. And what we want to do is we want to just lightly run the edge off that inside edge and make it just a touch wider, and then we'll be good to go with the rosette inner, outer border, and of course that wooden ring in the middle. So we're almost there now. It's going to look fantastic once we get that going. Lots of bling. You can see it matches the neck as well. We've got the abalone on the dots on the neck, on the fretboard I should say. So once we get that fretboard sorted out, it'll look really, really good. Okay. Willie won't go in the house. What is going there? Hello there indeed. Where are my bits and pieces? Here they are. Okay, let's find that little cutter. Little baby guy. I need the key. And I need the very fine doobie whacker, as I call it. Terry, is that the technical word for it? The doobie whacker? I think it's in here. Aha. Yes, indeed it is. The very fine spiral cutter. It's only about a very small 16th of an inch, 32nd of an inch. Really tiny, minute, minuscule thingamybobs. Very small. Let's pop that over here. Pop this little cutter in there. I'm going to just adjust the height, of course. Tighten that guy up. And then we'll pop it in that circle cutter. Get the height right. Give that a nice tight little squishel. Righty. I always thought it'd be also great to make a rosette with little cut panels of wood around the circle to look like a pleated ribbon. Yes, it is indeed, but that takes a hell of a long time. You must have me mistaken for someone that can be bothered, Leslie. Okay, there's our piece. Now, we've got our cutter down to the right depth. That's pretty good. Excellent. It's got to get the right diameter. That's the hard part. So bring that guy in until it hits that edge. Right there. And then bring it in ever so slightly. Right there. And that should do the trick, I think. Yeah, that's right on the edge. That should clean that edge up. Let's try that anyway and see how we go. Now, always use a hole. And I always drill a pilot hole into the base to keep it from wandering. Now, what do I mean by that? Terry, what do I mean by wandering? I mean, this is a soft center, and if we twirl that and put pressure on it, sometimes the hole gets a little bit skewed, and you don't want to come off center. It's happened a little bit here. That's hence why I've cut away a little bit more, but we'll get it going. We'll get it fitting nicely, but I need to get it right down the middle, and that's going to be cut out, so it doesn't really matter. But let's do it right, like that. We hold that there and pop this guy in here like so. It should settle straight down into that piece and not move. good to go, guys and girls. I'm pretty sure we are. Let's turn this on and give it a try. The worst thing that can happen is I ruin it. I ruin the hole. I'm not going to ruin anything, of course. I think we're good to go. Plug that in. I did a big clean-up on the weekend. You'll be glad to hear, Terry. I cleaned up a stack load of stuff. Dusted, vacuumed, found my full face mask, bubble, like I look like, what's his name? Buzz Lightyear. Look, Terry. Buzz Lightyear. A full face helmet, mask. These are beaut. They don't fog up. I can breathe. They've got a filter here. I can breathe. It seals everything around my face. And it doesn't fog up. And I don't have to worry about getting stuff in my eyes or up my nose. I knew you'd like that. Ha! Be Bumstead. Be Bumstead. Cleaned and organised. That's good. Yes, that's a good thing to do. I'm clean and organised as you'll find me. And you can see my head. That's right. We'll have to take another photo and we'll have to change that emote. Will we have to change that emote? I think that's good to go. It's not on. Of course, I've got to plug it in. Okay. We're good to go, Terry. Are you ready? Here we go. Shave. Just going to lift that out now. Keep it there. Just going to adjust this ever so slightly, bring it in just a tiny bit more. Might do it. Let's see how that goes. Okay, that's shaved inner edge ever so thinly. I'll just clean that up. A couple little edges here. I didn't even show you that. But what I've done is you can see I've just cut very, very finely. You can see that little edge all the way around. Now I'm just going to clean that up now, and that should fit another little rosette trim. Taking that off. Clean this guy up. very gently around those edges. Very gently around those edges, just sharpen them up a little bit. This side a little bit. I'm just going to grab a little bit of paper. Got a very small, very sharp, very stiff, very thin piece of 80 grit. Just a tiny little fragment like so. And I'm just going to run that around the edge just to take off little tiny fibres. So we get a nice, tight, flat fit. And then we'll test it again. And we'll test the fit and see how we go. And we'll glue it in. Sure that's all nice and square, nice and flat. Clean edges. Just that inside edge where it's going to sit along. It's got to be clean because we want it to sit there nicely. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's do another test fit now. Let's put that ring back in, get that outer layer in, then cut up a new layer. Okay, you can see there's an equal gap around the side, so that's going to fit nicely, I do believe. Okay, let's just position that like so. Grab our little bits and pieces. Let's try this length first. Starting at the top. Let's do the outside edge first. Pop that in if I can. What's going on here? A little bit of stubbornness. Aha, here we go. Get in there. Sitting twisted. Springing out nicely, and that traps it in against that edge nicely. Flat edge. Oh, damn, it's twisted. I hate it when it twists around like so. Better. Gotcha. Pop that in. Just relax that tension once we've got that little bit of bling in there. Stuff that along there. There we go. That's fitting really, really good. Very nice. Okay, so that's coming along. Get this inside edge in, outside edge in, like so. Get that tension under there. Just bring that open and let it go. It should catch it and hold it in place. It does. in there nice and tight. We can let it go like that and trim that off. There we go. That's a nice fit. That's a really good fit. Let me snip that. Okay, there we have it. So there's the outside ring. You can see that is very blingy. It's starting to shine a little bit. I'll just flick the camera over and give you a look at that. Okay. All right, so we've got to now cut another piece and do that inner edge. I now have versions of Manny singing I'm late for a very important date, like the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Very good. Okay, it is sharp. It's very sharp. Let me take my jacket off because it's warm in here. Okie dokie. It's better. So let's get on to the second piece. I will grab some more leather bound string. Leather bound string. What did I do with it? I think it's in here. Yes, I'm organised. Terry, I'm organised. I know where it is. I found it straight away. There it is. And I'm going to rough out a circumference. And as I said, it doesn't have to go all the way around. It just can stop right there because you ain't going to see it. We can always add little pieces as well you can't really see. Now let's try and fit the inner circle, and then we'll have it completa mundi, as they say in the movies. Is that what they say in the movies, Terry? Really? Do they actually say that? Is that a thing? That's a nice fit. Really flush. Really good. I like it a lot, guys and girls. I like it a lot. It's really good. Twist there. Let me just sort out that twist. Okay, gotcha. Buddy's barking. You might have heard that. Maybe. Possibly. Could have. Maybe. Should have. There we go. Da 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 da. So that's the rosette, what it's going to look like, right? We're going to glue all that in now. Now, one thing I have noticed is there's a little bit of a height discrepancy, and that's because there's a little bit of fibre in there. I'm just going to give that a little clean, and then we're going to glue everything down. So now that we know it works, that's our inner circle. Okay. There's our outer circle. just going to give that one little scrape around some of these high spots here. Little high spots. Might just hit it with a chisel first. Make sure we get those little high spots out. And once we pull the glue in there, it will sit a little higher. We'll then put a weight, a block of wood with a weight on there, and that will keep that rosette from sinking, but not bottoming out. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of glue in there. And sit that in there on the bead of glue, and then we're going to hit it around the edges as well, and we should be good to go. Just making sure these edges are nice and clean. We want a good fit without it being too high on the inside. That side there is okay. This side here's a bit of a worry. Okay, that's good. Important. Is it important? Okay, I need to check something, guys. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Let me just check something and I'll be right back. Okay, so little sand now. Just clean up that inside edge. There's nothing fibrous there. There's nothing bulging. It's clean. And that's the thing with playing with these softwoods, the softwoods they use like the pines for the top. Whether it be celery top pine, whether it be a sprucey sort of timber, European spruce, or whether it be, that's not good there, I don't like that. Or whether it be a bunya pine or a King William pine, the softness makes them very brittle, very delicate to work with. You just got to be very careful. Catching anywhere, which is good. Okay. We're good to go, guys and girls, so let's do that, shall we? Okay, first things first. got to get some glue in there and sit this guy in nice and centered. Then we can manipulate that guy and fit the outside edges. So let's get a nice big bead of glue in there. Not too deep, but not too shallow either. It's got to pull up slightly. We need it to sit proud. And when I say proud, it's already under the surface of this guitar, which is going to be sanded, but we need it to be sitting close to the top so we give it a light sand and everything's flush. Gets rid of the glue marks, gets rid of the unevenness, and you won't notice it. Let me just catch up with the chat. Word of the day, blingy. Yes, it's very blingy. So let's do that. What's going on with this phone? Okay, that's good. All right, cool. So let's grab our PVA, and I'm using PVA because A, it doesn't dry quickly. B, it allows me to work the pieces in while it's wet, and that's important. I will wear some gloves though because I don't want my fingers getting sticky and tacky and destroying the surface, the work surface of this guy. So what I'm going to do is cut some tape around there as well. Tape this guy out. I don't want too much scarring that surface, so let me put a little bit of tape over that, and that way when I sand and clean it up you won't see anything. You guys having a good time? Terry, are you well? What's going on with you? Have you been well? It's always interesting to find out what you're doing, how you're doing. Any audits? Anything interesting for Christmas? Have you shut down yet, or is it end of financial year for you guys? Because we have it mid-year, in end of June. What do you do? End of December or something? Are they serious? Can they be serious with you guys? Tape. Blue tape. Where's that blue tape emote? Have we still got that emote, Terry? Just going to pop this guy just close to the edge. Not on the edge specifically, but just close enough to keep any glue from pretty much smudging or being rubbed across the face of it and potentially leaving a watermark of some sort. You get it. You know what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just need a layer or two around there, that's all. Might just go star shape. Go around slowly. As long as it's close to the edge, we're good. Like that. Like that. Mask that up. Mask it up. I don't have to worry about the inside edge. Oh, well, I do, sort of, but I don't. I do, but I don't. I might just put a little bit of tape there, but I don't really think I need to on the inside edge. It's all good. Mask all that up. See, it's not a big job in terms of difficulty or with a little bit of planning or effort. What it does take, what makes you take the time is the finesse, like the accuracy of not only the cutting and the fitting, but also, you know, getting the prep right and all that sort of stuff. You want to minimize excessive overwork later, so you try and prep and do the work now, and that way you can get a roll on later on. That's almost good enough there. That's good. That's going to be covered up. Okay, so let's get some glue in here. Make sure this guy's working. It's not clogged up. I'm going to drag and clean this up. Clean. Okay, we're good. Okay. Are we ready, Terry, for some glue? We are. chat. Where are we up to? They will never find you. Bloody auditors. Hide. Okay. A nice even bead through the middle there. Without going too thick, but without stinging on it. It's got to be pretty even like so. Okay, there we go. Some nice globulous poolie, and that'll spread, but it'll give it a bit of height as well. We want to sit this guy in there now, and then we can manipulate and move things around. Now this doesn't matter if it gets glue on it, I'm going to sand it, but let's pop that in, like so. There we go. Nice. If we squeeze that a little bit, we can work this guy in. So let's grab the outer circle first, and let's pop this guy in. This is going to be fiddly, so I need to be quick and alert. I will put a little bit more glue in there when I'm done, so don't stress it. I'm just going to spread that out a little bit like so. Spread like so. Glue to the edges. Okay, let's pop this guy in, shall we? Twisting a little bit, we've got to get that right. What's going on here, guys? Okay, we've got a twist in there. There we go. Wow. there. Once we get that lined up and in properly, we'll be able to sort it all out. Just about there. Okay, it's looking good. Just about there. Just about there. Good. Got it. A little bit of water. Just wipe some of that poly away. Okay, sticky tape, very important now. Take the extremes down so this doesn't bounce out. Just keep it flat, like so. Inner circle, let's go. Well, we've got the glue in there. Get the little inner guy going. Okay, let's go. Starting here. Bang. 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 Get that guy flat in there. Working a treat, Terry. It's working a treat. Squeeze out, that's okay. Like I said, we'll clean this up. After we sand it, it'll be fine. Okay, this is the tricky part here. A little bit tight here. Let's get that guy in. Oh, that's moved. Get in there. That's it. Okay, that's good. tape. So there it is, done. Okay, tape it up. Keep it nice and flat. Just from popping out and getting slipping out more than anything. And now we'll get a nice big weight, stick that weight on there. And it ain't going anywhere. Ba-boom. There we have it. What is that? What do you think of that? Let me catch up with the chat, guys and girls. I envision a small tool with a blunt curved tip for pushing in the groove there. It's called a nodge. Yeah, it's just like the little tools that push the little rubber tubing around a screen window or a screen door to put the fly screen stuff in there. I've got one of those little tools, but the problem with that is, oh no, there's no problem. I mean, all you need is a little wheel, a little metal wheel that will disc. You could probably make one from a washer, a metal round washer. It'd be a good little till. I'm gonna look into that, Tom, because I think there's some merit. There's some merit in your thoughts there. But otherwise, a flat blade screwdriver is good enough. You just push it in. It sometimes springs up a little bit, and that's the hard part about it. Whilst it's still wet, that's why I've taped it down to stop it from trying to. Because it is elastic in there. It is an elasticy, leathery type of thin strap. It will play a little bit and move. And now that I've taped the weight on it, it should just sit there until it's set. So a splining tool. Yeah, something like that. The spline. Sounds about right. Now, before we leave, I'm going to do another coat. I'm going to move this guy into the next room. I'm going to do a coat of that Telecaster because I need to get that finished. Guys and girls, I need to get it finished. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to grab this guy, and whilst we know that the top is finished and the back is almost done as well, the sides had a little bit of rework, so I need to actually sand a little bit at the back here and get this guy. But look at that top. The top looks great. That looks really good with the finish there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop you on here. Let me grab a little soft cloth. Now I've got to and pop that guy down. I'll flick you over. Ba-doing. There it is. Looking good. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. Get these chisels out of the way. Tape, put that away. Aha, put our binding away because we're going to use this on the outside edge of the body of the guitar as well. And I can get some more of this stuff. It's quite handy, this stuff. This leathery stuff, it's pretty good. It's like a strip of leather with a little bit of shell on each side. And or one side actually. It looks pretty good. And the fact that the shell is in little 1-inch pieces and it's joined, it's actually stuck down and fused with a little 1-inch pieces. That's what makes it flexible. It's like a chain link. Okay, that's put away. Now we get this guy. And we'll get this guy. Maybe drink first. Cheers, big ears. He's looking up your old address. go. Cats are funny. Cats are crazy. That's what I reckon. Cats are crazy. Now I'm going to sand this guy a little bit right here. There's a couple little scratches I want to get rid of. Just here. So I'm going to grab a little bit of this. I think that's 80. That's a little bit too much. Grab something a bit finer. $240 is what I need. I'm going to wear my mask just to look like Buzz Lightyear so Terry can be excited by the fact that I'm wearing a Buzz Lightyear mask. Now, I don't know if my glasses fit in this. They might. They do. So that's good. It's a little bit funny on the funny side. These glasses are sitting a bit funny, but that's okay. It'll work. There we go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Very funny, Leslie. Okay, I'm just going to set this little guy here. And when I finish sanding this, we'll be able to just give it a couple of coats. Another coat around the edges, I should say, and the back. And we're getting closer to finishing. Got to make these scratches disappear, guys and girls. They're very fine. Slipping off because of my glasses. I'll take that off. It's not much dust anyway, but almost out. Just see those little marks there. See those little guys? It's getting those little marks out there. Once they're gone, you'll just see the grain. You're almost there. We're halfway there. Nearly gone. Nearly gone. Just a couple of little fades. We're probably about 70% there. Another couple of minutes and we should have them gone. I go across the grain too, and then I go down and smooth it out. Little circles, working that surface. Almost gone. You can see the grain now. The grain's quite prominent, but there's still a couple of little burn marks just there. Just do those, and then good to go. Once I get this coat, 2 or 3 coats done on the edges over the next couple of days, I think next week we can start putting the electrics in here, put the body on it and get it finished. Then this can go to the person that I've, the customer. They're not in a hurry, but this is going to a very special customer, and we'll let you know the details when we send that to them. Keep it surprise for now. I want you to all be in, what do you call it? Suspenders. I want you all to be in suspenders. Don't we all want to be in suspenders? Ha! Suspense, I meant. Just a faint, we're about 90% there now. Just a faint couple of marks. Give the edge a nice big sand as well, just to get consistency with the coats. Because I've sanded right through here, so I'm going to have to just rough up the edge and just give it a nice thick coat or two. Just on the edges. The back's pretty much done. Just got to do the edges now to match the back. The front is really glossy, the back is satin, and the sides will be satin. There. Just get the coarse stuff on there. Let's get that done. Just evening out the surface now and just getting the colour even so there's no dark spots other than the grain, of course. Poplar is it's a poplar back, and poplar's got a couple of different tones, 3 or 4 different colours. The grain's lighter, the dark, you've got this sapwood in the back, so you've got 4 or 5 different colours there. It's not going to be too much of an issue at the end of the day, but what we've got is the edges here already oiled, and we don't want to have a bare bit taking its first coat while the other part of the guitar is taking its third coat or second coat. So give that a rough scuff and get it all flattened so that it takes the next coat nice and evenly. Should clean up nicely. Do the other edge, and then we'll put a coat on and we're done for this guy anyway, for today. There's a dark line through there, but that's sapwood. That's not actually a burn, that's actually sapwood. Okay, let's give that a wipe down. Okay, and now we give this a coat. Shall we give it a coat? Yes. Leslie, who have we got in here? Mario's here. And Sir Didymus. Wait, a summertime there, why would you put a coat on it? Ha! Very funny, Sir Didymus. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Diddy on the prowl with his one-liners. Okay. Oils ain't oils, soul. Crack this guy open. Whoops. That always happens, doesn't it? Hit the edge. Top's fine. Okay. Give that a swizzle. Soft cloth right here. Let's do it. Okay. All right. What do we got here? Do I need to move this camera? Possibly. How's that? It's a bit shitty. There we go. That's frozen. Let me unfreeze that. Bench. Come on. What are you doing? What's happened? Very good. Now I've lost the camera. Give me a sec. It's on, but no one's home. Ad break in a second. Let me get the workbench going again, guys. Okay, bench. The diaring. Deactivate. Activate. It's not working. Hang on, let me find it. I'll unplug it. Plug it back in. Got power. Okay. There we go. Got it. Audio. What's audio doing? Microphone, USB device. You should be able to hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, you can. Okay, cool. All right, we're good. So, let's go. All right, that's pretty good. Bring that down about there. You can see me all that. Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry about the mix-up. Little wire was a little bit loose. Loosely. Just grab a little bit of oil on there. Get that end going. You can see how dark it is on the ends here with the oil. That Danish is beautiful. I love working with Danish oil. It's so cool. It's so good. Works really well. I'm not going to go too thin on it. I'm going to really give it a nice wash. Give it a like a really good gloss straight off the rag, without dripping, of course. But I'm going to give it a bit of a thick coat. Just rub that in, work it in, but then just gloss over it so you can get that sort of finish. Okay, because that's close to the back now. You can see the back. You got that satin feel, and you want to get the same sort of satin vibe there when that dries. It probably needs another coat, but that's okay. Let's keep working this around the back. Still see a couple of those scratches, so that means I'm going to have to sand it a little bit more, but that's okay. They're about a quarter of what they used to be. So you can't see them sometimes, but when they get wet, they stand out. My eyes aren't the best anyway, so you know I'm struggling most days with just being able to see where to put the food, where my mouth is. You know, luckily, I can sense where it is because I can't see 2 feet in front of me. No, I'm okay. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad, Terry. It's a lovely grain. This poplar's beautiful. Let that guy settle. I'll just flatten it out so it's not too runny anywhere. It's not runny at all. Give that a nice little wipe over the excess. We do these coats pretty, you know, how do you say it? In stages, I guess, is one way you can put it. Throw that away. Flick over to the other camera. There we go. All right, so we've got another coat on that guy there. Look at the colour on the back of that. That comes off the back. It bleeds down into the edges there. A little bit of sapwood there in the belly as well, in the waistline, and a little bit more colour on the neck and around the horns. You can see those black patches. It's quite interesting because you've got that colour going all the way through. So that's gonna look good. Orby, do you like that? I think you'd like that. That's a beauty, isn't it? And of course the front. And when you look at that, you know, the combo is really nice. And the neck for that guy is this guy here. And that's just about ready to go. That's oiled, that's good to go. So that's coachwood again. Burdekin plum fretboard. It's a nice reddy sort of cedary colour, but it's a hardwood. It is nature at its best, yeah, absolutely. That's got oil on, about 4 coats. And that'll sit in there like so. And yeah, when you look at the back, it's sort of like, almost like the colours almost match. It's like a neck through. It looks a little bit like a neck through. Not quite, but you know what I mean. You can sort of visualise that. That's going to be great once we fit that guy in there. So I'll pop that down. I'll hang this guy up, let him dry. And that'll be able, I'll give that another coat this afternoon. In about an hour or two, that's going to take another coat. It's a nice warm day today. It's been a little bit humid lately, a bit of rain, but it does dry up quickly. It's a unique look, absolutely, Tom. I agree. It's quite rare and it's quite different, and that's what I like about it. I like doing boutique one-off things. You know, you're never going to get another body. Even if I cut the same shape out and put the same top on it, even though the tops are unique as well. But that body, if you look at that, you're not going to get another piece of poplar that looks like that. You might have a different angle of the grain. You might have a different colored depth. But that band in that width, it's, you know, the cap and back is my favorite. Yeah, it would be. Why wouldn't it be? I like it too. The person that's getting this is going to be very happy with it, I'm sure. So, all right, guys and girls, that's it for today. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. We'll be back again next week. With Christmas coming up, obviously, things are going to be busy, but I will stream on a Monday. What I do want to say is in the new year, around the 7th or so, I could be doing two or three streams. Oh, actually, no, I'm back on the 7th. So keep an eye out anyway on the schedule. If I do throw on a couple of extra ones in there around the new year, around, you know, Christmas, not Christmas so much, but after Boxing Day. So around between the 26th and the 1st of Feb, or we might be able to do something. Sorry, the 26th of December till the 5th or so of January. There might be an extra stream in there. Thanks very much. Take it easy. I'll see you again soon. It's Manny from the Guitar Show, signing off for another week or so. Be good. Take care of each other. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.